The service chiefs have now assumed office following their decoration with new ranks by President Bola Tinubu. Retired captain in the U.S. Army and National Defense and Military Strategist Bish Johnson is my guest as we explore this issue. It's a new dawn, Captain Johnson, for these service chiefs. But you know, as a country, we are faced with multiple security challenges. How much boost do you suppose their emergence would actually inject into the war against terror?
Okay, well, anytime there's a change, well, first of all, thank you for having me and good evening to Nigerians. Well, anytime you have a change in command, is usually a bag of, opportunities and also some risk to it. And I'll take the risk first. The risk is that you may have, disruption in operational memory. But in this particular instance, I don't think that disruption is going to be much because if you look, the chief of defense staff was the former chief of army staff, so you still have an institutional memory there. And then the chief of intelligence was not changed; he's still there, so that institutional memory is there. Now, the bag of opportunities is, of course, every commander comes with his own ideas and the policies that, he think will improve the situation and that he wants to drive. And so no doubt there will be an injection of new ideas. There will be some changes in policies here and there. But as I have always said consistently, there is no one service chief or group of service chiefs who are going to, on their own, solve Nigeria's insecurity problem without us carrying out the necessary reforms. And what are those reforms? We need to look at, delays in funding. Security situations most times are time bound. Most times it takes a lot of time, too long, for politicians to approve necessary funding that are required to deal with insecurity.
But Captain Johnson, security has actually enjoyed the largest chunk of national budget annually, and so it does appear it's already in a privileged position to actually have the funds. But aside funding, what sort of collaboration do you expect with the people, because they need to supply intelligence and there seems to be a lack of trust, as it were?
Yes, you see, when I talked about the funding, I didn't say the funding is not enough. What I'm saying is that the delay in the funds actually getting to them to actually do what they're supposed to do at the time they're supposed to do it. And when you talk about large chunk of funding, if you compare the level of funding for our national defense with our poor neighbors in terms of GDP, in terms of per capita, you discover that they're even spending more than we are. Well, let's leave that. However, let me come to your question. What kind of collaboration do I expect from them? Of course, there has to be collaboration because there's no one agency that is going to be able to solve these problems on their own. Not just only the military, they also have to collaborate with other security agencies like the police, like the DSS, like the civil defense, so that all of them can work collaboratively. Now, in recent times, I think those collaborations have improved. It's better than what they used to be before. But of course, we expect them to collaborate even more. That is on one side. On the other side, they have to actually collaborate with the citizens because no war has ever been won without the cooperation of the citizens.
All right, Captain Johnson.
Yes, there are other means to...
We really do need to go. We really need to go at this time. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us regarding this matter. Retired captain in the U.S. Army, National Defense and Military Strategist Bish Johnson. Many thanks for talking to us.